have this year 4 really, really wonderful, fabulous Next Generation Award winners. I think that each one of them is inspiring. Each one of them comes, I think, from a different section of the community, and each one of them brings something different to the table. Each one of them is working in very different fields, and I think each one of them is going to have a very specific effect on how the community moves forward.
I know that every day there's going to be someone like me who came to DC who's not going to know how it is to be gay and Asian. So when I see people, struggle, whether it be with trying to figure out how they can improve the lives of people in their community, like my volunteers, for example, or if people be struggling with coming out, that's, I think, what drives me. I lost my voice a lot growing up because I didn't really know how to speak up for myself and didn't have examples of how to do that. So for me, I think gaining the courage to do that is what I'm trying to develop right now. I was completely surprised and completely honored and also completely humbled when I saw who else was nominated. I'm like, gosh, really? I mean, wow, okay. So I was just completely humbled by this honor. I think that through this process I've met a lot of really incredible people, including the Metro Lincoln family, and I definitely have come to appreciate my HRC family and my Apex and Aqua and First DC and Advocacy family in this process. So I really want to thank you all for, as my boss said, not just helping me find myself, but also create myself. So thank you.
Particularly youth coming from really underserved communities in DC where they have so few supports anyway, and when they come out as openly LGBT, many of those supports fall away. And so that was what really hooked me to this work and really sold me on this organization and made me realize that this was the way that I wanted to be involved in making the world a better place for LGBT people. I feel tremendously lucky to be a part of an organization that makes a real difference in young people's lives, but the hardest part is knowing that as much good work as we do, there's always more work to do. It means a lot to me to have some really important, prominent folks in the LGBT community selected me for this award. I also feel like it's an impetus for me to do even more with it, to use it to continue to work to make the world a better place for LGBT people, continue to work to make Smile an organization that is really meeting all of the needs of the LGBT youth of this region.
I feel the closest to my sense of purpose when I'm using my time to help make the world a better place for others. And so I'm going to view this award as a challenge to continue to do that and to remember that my success will always be measured by my ability to help others achieve success.
When I'm not making films, I'm usually doing research on film and media. I think it's an incredibly effective device to create social change in society. And it's very direct and it's very immediate. You can show somebody a film that's 30 minutes long and make them think about an issue. I feel it's incredibly important to me, for me to be out and outspoken about LGBT issues, because there is somebody out there who is also sort of in the same boat, who is South Asian or is a person of color, who is a minority, and who's looking up to me or looking up to see images or role models of people of color in the in the LGBT community. Recognition like this is incredibly important because it provides, it sends out this message to the younger generation that yes, we accept you, and you have a community to belong to, even if your family has rejected you. There's a larger sort of sense of family or community that you can be part of.
The people who really deserve this kind of recognition are the people, the generation before us that, because of their honesty and their openness, they paved the way for us to sort of have the opportunities that we have today.
Well, I volunteered at a domestic violence shelter here in DC, and I worked at the shelter all through grad school. And it wasn't until I was really in the culture of a domestic violence shelter and I was sort of processing, well, there are no shelters for gay men, and there's really no lesbians here, but it does serve women only, and so what is that about, and how do we create spaces for people to have the services that they need to have? But I think right now we're at the phase where We really need to get the community to understand that it's an issue, it's okay to talk about it, it's okay to reach out for help. And I was shocked, honestly, because I felt there are probably people far busier than I am and far more dedicated than I am doing amazing work. So that was my initial thought, really. But then my other thought was, well, even if I feel like I'm not as accomplished or productive as some other people, I think this is really important. And I see it really not so much as an award about myself, but about the work and the issue that I'm committed to.
There's a quote that I try to live my life by, and it goes like this. To those of you who are still alive, what are the things that are truly important? And while you are still alive, what are you doing about them?
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for helping us to celebrate what I think is the best and brightest in our community. And as we move forward, as everyone said, we're really fortunate in this community to have so many wonderful, talented, dedicated people doing such good work. And that's why we'll be back here next year, because there are more people to honor, there are more people to encourage, and it's really something that we can do every day.